Live presented by AT&T. The Eastern Conference Finals start tonight. That's Brendan Haywood. That's Dennis Scott. I'm Chris Miles. And the Indiana Pacers, New York Knicks meeting in the Eastern Conference Finals the first time since 2000. Now, these two teams got here some interesting paths, right? Because the New York Knicks, they had to take care of the defending champs to get here. And the Boston Celtics, obviously the team they beat, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, team with the top seed in the East, that's who the Pacers had to beat to get here. So, Brendan, those are two interesting paths to get to this point for these two teams.
Yeah, it's definitely two interesting paths, and it's going to be interesting to see how this series played it out because they're going to have to do things very differently, especially when you're talking about the New York Knicks. But the New York Knicks did very good against Boston. They loaded up. They loaded up on Tatum. They loaded up on Brown, and then they were willing to live with the decisions those guys were making. The Pacers are going to play a different brand of basketball.
Sir.
Tricky Rick Carlisle is going to have these boys moving that ball all around the perimeter. And his thing, Rick Carlisle's main point of emphasis offensively is always ball movement.
Correct.
And when you look at the Pacers, everybody gets a chance to touch it. They were equal opportunity offense. They don't have a guy that's going to average 30, but they have a bunch of guys that are going to be able to knock down shots, compete on both ends of the court, and they're very hard to guard because they make you chase that rock.
And Chris, for all the New York fans watching, even for yourself, I applaud you because you just gave all the stats and last time the Knicks have been this relevant. So the question for Knicks fans and players, how do you play with emotion and not be emotional and get caught up to everything he just said? Because they're coming like OKC, they're playing 10 deep. Every guy that steps on the court will affect the game. How do you continue to play with the emotion you've played with throughout these playoffs to the road, to your point once again that you broke down, but not getting emotional, get caught up with what happened last year, not get caught up with Reggie Miller and all that kind of stuff, and stay in the moment, then you can continue to be happy, Chris.
Well, you say emotional because the two guards in this series certainly have their fan bases emotional with some great moments. Tyrese Haliburton, a two-time All-Star. Jalen Brunson, a two-time All-Star and Clutch Player of the Year. Here are the Knicks on facing Tyrese Haliburton.
How great Tyrese is, you can't give him just gaps and let somebody be on the island. I think it's a team defense and you got to show bodies, for all the really good, great guards, you always can't let them just play one-on-one and be by themselves, and they're crafty enough to find what they want to get to.
Excited to add more chapters to this, storied rivalry and just continue to be a part of it. And yeah, man, I look forward to playing in that building, and maybe it's a good thing that my dad won't be able to go. So yeah, I look forward to the environment for sure.
Didn't really know Tyrese until we played USA basketball. We had a great player. He's done a lot. He's quieted a lot of people. He's obviously their engine, and they go as he goes, and he does a lot for their team. So it's going to be a tough task, but this is, like I said, this is a new challenge for us.
Now, when we talk about Tyrese Haliburton, there's a reason that the Knicks are holding him in such high regard. Last year in the playoffs, he had a playoff career high 35. This season, he also scored a season high 35 against the Knicks. Why is Haliburton such a difficult matchup for the New York Knicks and keeping him contained as a scorer?
Well, first thing comes to mind for me, B-Wood, is he's listed at 6'7", 6'8", long arms, so he can see over the defense. Like this play right here, not leaving, for the jump shot with Giannis going by him. So he's learning how to continue to attack the defense, get to the paint, but sharing the basketball. When you're 6'7", 6'8", and now you're putting the pressure on the defense when the double team comes, he's finding the right guys, either a slip for a dunk or finding the guy in the corner for a three-point shot. That's why he's being so successful. He's playing with a high level of confidence right now.
Again, Brennan, these two teams meeting for a second year in a row. Last year in the playoffs against Indiana, Jalen Brunson averaged 29 points a game.
Oof.
He had 2 games over 40 in that series. Do you think this Pacers team and what they're doing this year defensively are more equipped to slowing him down?
I actually don't. I think there's no answer to slowing Jalen Brunson down because he has all the answers to the test. He is the definition of what a 3-level score looks like. He's knocking shots down from the 3-point line. The mid-range right here, that's Jaylen Brown he's working on, the 6'7", top-tier defender, getting whatever he wants to in the mid-range. He finishes in the lane with layups. He has floaters. He has footwork. He can post up smaller guards. And you can never speed him up. So I think the Pacers are an incredible team. I think they're a better team than they were last year. But can they slow down big body Brunson? Absolutely not, because he's seen it all. He understands how to get his shot off. He understands how to change directions at times, slow the game down, then speed up at the last minute, change directions, bump you off, get his shots off, and he's never scared of the moment. If it's a very close game, in my opinion, advantage Knicks, and it's because they have Jalen Brunson.
You know, when I hear that 3D, I think of those pump fakes, right? He and SGA, there's been some backlash in the playoffs of, quote, foul baiting.
Hey, can we see your pump fake again?
It's not like Jalen Brunson.
Before I get to the pump fake, I just want to add one thing to it to be what said. There's only one thing I would say that Rick Carlisle will steal from Missoula, what happened in Game 5 in Boston. They're going to put, Jalen in a lot of actions on the defensive end to wear him down. That's the first time he had fouled out in, 3 or 4 years of basketball playing. That's the only thing I can see Rick Carlisle doing to go at him. Now, on the flip side of that, to answer your question, how does Indiana stay disciplined? Because one thing we know about Jalen Brunson, the footwork and getting to the paint, and Chris, it's like this. It's, the pump fake. You got to put a little bit more to it.
Hey.
He's the best in the business. I don't care if guards, power forward, center, they're pump fake. So just getting you off your feet, the hezzies, the step back. Yep, let's get to the free throw line.
Way better than Chris pump
Come
fake.
on, baby. This is the part of the game where if you're a Knicks fan, you're like, phew. I know Big Body Brunson. He's going to take his time. He's going to get to his spot. He's not super fast. He's not super athletic. But he's going to give you one of those. He's going to give you another one. Then reach in and be with, let's go shoot two. That's what separates, and that's what B was talking about for Indiana. The defense will come in wave, but he has so many different crafty moves. I can see him getting 2 and 3, 4 guys in foul trouble in this series each game.
And for Indiana, they live up to their name when you talk about pace of play, right? Top 5 in the NBA the last 3 years. The Knicks, the exact opposite the last 3 years. So 3D, can you show us how Indy keeps up the pace?
Well, it's fun, and B Wood, you're on fire today, is that they don't have one guy where you say you just throw the ball to, let's go get 30 at night. But when the ball is hopping from one end of the floor to the next, they have cutters. It's just organized, their version of organized chaos and finding the right person at the right time. So look at the action there. Pascal's not forcing it. You talked about Haliburton. That's one of his assists right there, making the extra pass. We know he could have taken that 3. Now another little secondary break action. Dribble handoff. Look at the great spacing. 5 out with a slip, put pressure on the defense, a diagonal pass. What do you have? Obi Toppin coming in the league. I didn't know he was a 3-point shooter. Here he is shooting the ball the way he's shooting it. So once again, the Pacers say, let's get a stop. Now you get out and run. Poor communication by Donovan Mitchell. He said the right thing, but didn't hustle all the way back. Quick ball movement. Neesmith, you knocked down that 3. That's why if you're a Pacer fan, and to your question, pace, pun intended, they get stops, they get out and run, they share the basketball. That's why they're a team right now you don't want to play.
Yeah, and when I think of bigs, Brennan, right, I think of you as a 7-footer, but this is a whole different bigs matchup. Karl Anthony Towns, starting center in the All-Star game for the Eastern Conference. Knicks and Pacers have both a rich and a recent history. New York was eliminated by the Pacers in the second round last year in Game 7. The last time both of these teams made the finals, they beat each other. The Knicks beat the Pacers in 99. Pacers beat the Knicks in 2000. This is the 4th time they're meeting in the conference finals, tied for the most since 1971. With that, let's welcome in a guy that knows a thing or two about New York, whose brother once coached those New York Knicks, Stan Van Gundy. The Pacers have some really good defenders on this team, but Tyrese Haliburton not really listed as one of those guys, right? So on the defensive side, who is Haliburton likely going to match up against?
Well, during the season, they had Haliburton on Josh Hart. And we saw that for a good part of the playoff series last year also. So that's where I would expect him to start. Now, a lot of people have tried to put their center on Josh Hart in the playoffs. We sent him both of the earlier series. But if they do that, Haliburton's got to guard a scorer, and I don't think that they're going to want to do that. So expecting on Josh Hart at least early on.
Well, Stan, put a little pressure on you right now. With your defensive hat on, how do you slow down Jalen Brunson, because he's so smart getting into the paint, using those pump fakes to get guys in foul trouble? What's the scheme to try to slow him down in this series?
Well, you know what? I think what Indiana's plan was last year in the playoffs, was in the regular season, and will continue to be, 3D, is they want to not so much stop him as wear him down. And so they'll use multiple guys on him, probably starting with Aaron Neesmith tonight, pick him up full court, always have pressure on the ball, never let him do anything easy or get comfortable, and just try to wear on him. They have not blitzed him a lot on pick and rolls. They have not doubled him a lot. You know, they just want to try to wear him down and take away his efficiency a little bit so that he's not at his best in the fourth quarter.
Stan, obviously everybody's talked about this Knicks bench and how much they haven't played this year. But do you think that their lack of depth will kind of catch up with them right now late in these playoffs when bodies are obviously tired?
Well, you know what? We're going to find out. They've had a little rest coming into today, so I think they'll be fine early. We'll find out. You know, it is interesting. The Pacers, both in the regular season and in the playoffs, they don't have a single starter who's played more than 34 minutes a game. The Knicks don't have a single starter who's played less than 35 minutes a game. So it's a total difference in philosophy. So where's the advantage? Fewer minutes, maybe a little bit fresher legs? Or do you get the advantage by having your better players on the floor for longer? And I think the great thing about the NBA in general, especially with coaching, is that you can win with a lot of different approaches. There's not one way to go. And we're going to find out in this series. Certainly a little bit of an advantage for Indiana in one way, but in another way, you're going to have to deal with New York's best guys throughout the entire game.
Yeah, also Reggie Miller on the broadcast with you as well. I mean, it must be an incredible feeling to just be in the arena with Reggie coming back against the Knicks.
Hey, listen, I mean, you know, my brother was an assistant with the Knicks early on when Reggie had the great run in '95, and then obviously he was the head coach here in New York series late. And I was able to watch those series, you know, or did watch them all the way through. You know, and the whole interaction. I mean, the rivalry between Reggie and the Knicks fans will continue tonight and throughout this series.
Stan Van Gundy on the call tonight for TNT. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time with us on Playoff Central Live.
Absolutely, guys. Enjoy.
Thanks, Stan.
Now, you mentioned that difference between the Knicks bench and the Pacers bench.
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you like the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we notice that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.